All-Star Weekend, which is the time for NBA players to kind of get away, get to do things that they actually want to do. But as All-Star Weekend just went by, we have a few issues that we kind of need to talk about. What's going on, guys? SMH Super Mario Hoops back with some more hoops. And these are the top 10 problems that I think are wrong with NBA All-Star Weekend. So let's get into the first one. Talking about the celebrities in the celebrity game. Now, a lot of the people knew, Chance the Rapper, Quavo. People knew Ronnie 2K for the wrong reasons. But a lot of the people in there were just not really celebrities, or at least not really people that a lot of other fans really think about, So I think we need to get more celebrities that would actually be more well known, because I remember the days back when there was, Kevin Hart and Nick Cannon, and that was always like a fun game. And now it's like some of our celebrities are just kind of random people that, a lot of people aren't really too familiar with, and that's kind of an issue. The second issue is that the contests are becoming too point heavy. And really, this is specified for the 3-point contest and the dunk contest. So the 3-point contest, if you guys remember, had the Mountain Dew 3-pointers. And that's the add-on already to the fact that they've had a double point rack for the past few years now. And back in the day, like with Larry Bird, when he was in the contest, back when guys like Quentin Richardson, Peja Stojakovic, all those guys were in the 3-point contest, there was only 4 1-point balls and 1 2-point ball, and that's it. But now it's like we got a double point rack, we got 3-point racks, and it kind of just takes away from the people back then, because you could see a score that those guys got, like Larry Bird or Craig Hodges or whoever, and think like, wow, they actually didn't do as good as Buddy Hield or Devin Booker. The third issue that I have is that there's still no defense. Now, I know when they said that they were going to switch up the format mainly for the All-Star game and, put captains in there so they could pick their own teams, they said that this is probably going to be a more defense-heavy type of All-Star situation because the teams would be more balanced. And that really hasn't been the case. In 2018, there was a lot of defense, I'd say, kind of in the fourth quarter because it became kind of a closer game. But ultimately, last year and this year, there really hasn't been any defense. And not only just the All-Star game, but also like the Rising Stars game. Literally the last minute and a half, everyone was just allowing for a dunk contest between Zion Williamson, Ja Morant, Brandon Clark, and RJ Barrett. The fourth issue I have is that the skills challenge is way too short. And this is something that I actually really noticed this year. And yes, the course is obviously shorter because you got people going head to head. You got to make room on the court for 2 people instead of 1. But it just seems really short. And even though there's like 8 people, I think it goes by even quicker than it did back then. And I like the skills challenge. I think it's one of the most unique things because people always talk about 3-point contests and dunk contests along with the All-Star game, but the skills challenge doesn't really get too much attention when talking about all those things, and I actually like it. But I think that they need to bring it back more. Obviously they got the dribbling move, and it's only 1 pass, a layup, and a shot. Like back then, there was like multiple passes, there was multiple shots, multiple layups, and different variations of passes as well. So I think they kind of need to expand more on that like they did in the past. The fifth issue I have is what happened to the Shooting Stars Challenge. I'm sure you guys probably don't know what the Shooting Stars Challenge is. You guys will probably remember once I familiarize you guys with it. So when we're talking about the Shooting Stars Challenge, if you guys remember back in the day when Chris Bosh, Dominique Wilkins, and Swing Cash were all together on a single team for the Shooting Stars Challenge, and they were all trying to, make the 3 shots and then the half-court shot, that's what it was. And I feel like that was a really cool idea. In fact, I thought that was probably the coolest, like the low-key coolest idea of the All-Star Saturday night. And I don't really know why they got rid of it. Maybe because Bosh kind of couldn't compete in it anymore. Because I'm pretty sure, he had obviously the health issues. But I don't think that's any issue to get rid of it altogether, because I thought they could have done so much with it. I thought one day they'd probably add in mascots to it to shoot the half-court shot instead. because I mean mascots typically do in their own games, so it'd be cool to see like which one got it. And usually they were all team based, so you had like a Miami team, a Chicago team, Milwaukee team, Phoenix team. Like you had all these different teams based on NBA locations. The sixth problem I have is the Rising Stars needs to return to its old format. And the main reason is because, yes, it's nice to see the USA versus Team World and stuff like that. And they were kind of playing with it before, like having, people pick their own teams back then when, like, Charles Barkley went against Shaq. I mean, yeah, it was okay, but ultimately you need to have the top 20 players that are rookies and sophomores in the league. Because when you're looking at some of the guys who didn't get in, I mean, Colin Sexton just got in as a replacement, and he had a great game in the Rising Stars Challenge, and he's averaging over 18 points per game for the season. How is that guy a replacement in the Rising Stars Challenge? And a guy like Michael Porter Jr., who, yes, he's had limited minutes to this point this year, but he's played insane. There's definitely potential that he could be a superstar in this league one day. So I don't understand why he couldn't even be in it. Like, he's definitely a top 20 rookie or sophomore. The seventh issue I have, and this is something that was mainly just this year, and I don't want it to stick around, the activities. So the activities were really stupid. I mean, especially in the celebrity game. And I don't want them to carry that over to the All-Star game or to the Rising Stars game or whatever. So basically, they had activities like pulling tissues out of a box to try and see who would start with the ball. And then they had a rock, paper, scissors match, and the winner would have Anthony Davis throw cornholes to see if he would make one. And if he missed one, then the other team got points. And if he made it, then your team got points. That's completely random. And obviously, it's not really even fun. It's not even a basketball game anymore. Like, it's literally just like a field day or something, or like a chaotic sequence of events that all lead to your points. Like, it literally makes no sense. Now, I know they've done stuff like that in the past with other like teams. I mean, the Harlem Globetrotters, like, they usually allow like a 10-point boost or whatever. But ultimately, like, this is NBA All-Star Weekend. We haven't seen something like this. Like, don't change the format. If we're not expecting it, don't change the format of that. And also, like, really the activities in the intros. Like, I'm not going to lie, the intro between Kristen Ledlow and Isaiah Thomas this year, especially for, like, the skills challenge, was really cringy. Like, I don't want to see that back again. Number 8, and this isn't really just a problem too much with how the setup is for the All-Star Weekend, but it's a problem for us because we can't access it. And it's probably a problem for the league, too, because they're not doing anything with it. And where's the auxiliary merch? I mean, yes, they have merch for, NBA All-Stars and their jerseys, but I've seen a lot of people who are interested in getting a Rising Stars Challenge jersey. I've seen people interested in getting a celebrity game jersey. All these things that a lot of people are interested in. Maybe you could buy, like, the Dwight Howard version of the Superman cape that had, like, Kobe Bryant's number on it. Like, that would have been insane if we could have, bought that in stores. But obviously, they're not making any money off that. And they want to make money, too, so they could do stuff in the future. Make changes in the future, probably to go back. Because, honestly, a lot of these things that they've done so far are kind of annoying. The 9th problem with NBA All-Star Weekend is the MVP process. I completely hate the idea where it's like you can vote for your MVP. And it's kind of sickening, honestly, because at some point, just bias kind of gets in there. Because, I mean, somebody can go in, like, say, a Tim Duncan, and Tim Duncan's not known for being really flashy, but he could have, like, 40 points off strictly, like, layups or fundamental, like, bank shots. And then you can have someone go in there, like, maybe Paul George, who had 20 or 25 points in the game, and he's doing all these flashy dunks, and, he's shooting threes from so far back or whatever, and they give Paul George the MVP because he looked crazier. But ultimately, you look at Tim Duncan's stats, and he'd have like a 40-point and 10 rebound night, which, I mean, that shouldn't go unnoticed. That should be your MVP if they were both on the same team for that instance. And the last issue I have is, this is probably the most obvious one over this past weekend, is the dunk contest judges. There should be absolutely no bias in dunk contest judges. I was completely disgusted by the outcome of it, and nothing to take away from Derrick Jones Jr. I thought he had like a really good dunk contest, I mean, a lot of his dunks are stuff that we probably haven't seen before, and his performance in this dunk contest was probably a top 10 performance all time. But with that being said, so was Aaron Gordon. And a lot of the stuff that Aaron Gordon did was stuff that was very creative. And yes, you could say he jumped over Chance multiple times, but Derrick Jones Jr. did about 3 or 4 between the legs dunks in a row. So, I mean, it's like an eye for an eye. And when looking at Aaron Gordon, just the way that he went about his dunks were insane. Every dunk he had was a 50 until he jumped over a 7'5" taco fall. And I don't understand how that's not a 50 when jumping over Chance is. Like, I mean, it's plain and simple like that. And I mean, the Derrick Jones Jr. one, I don't even know if that should have been really a 48, but ultimately, that's another thing with the dunk contest judges is that they give too many 50s out too early. You know, they see something really early and they're like, oh, that's a 50, you know, to something that probably isn't a 50. And then once they get to something better in the second round, then you're basically inclined to have to give that a 50 until, you know, you have judges that are biased and decide to rig the outcome. But yeah, that's going to do it for me for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you find any other problems with NBA All-Star Weekend. I just personally, it's kind of becoming a joke to some extent. And I mean, if they fix some of these issues, like, I think it'll definitely go back to the way that I remember it, like back when I started getting first affiliated with watching NBA. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'm out. Peace. Also, I'm going to begin occasionally doing shoutouts on my channel, so the first shoutout for this video goes to JKTV. I suggest you guys go subscribe to him.